MAGA Mike Johnson is visibly cracking in public right now as Donald Trump's disastrous and unlawful war in Iran continues to escalate, bringing Trump and the entire MAGA Republican Party down. Sadly, also bringing the United States down as well. MAGA Mike Johnson is in desperation posting photographs at the dignified transfer with soldiers whose bodies are being returned in coffins draped with the American flag. MAGA Mike is trying to score cheap political points by acting like he supports our troops when in fact he supports this unlawful and unjustified war in Iran. Now, the family members of those soldiers who are returning now to their final resting place here in the United States, who were sent to their deaths by the despicable Trump regime, these family members of these heroes specifically requested that there not be any media at all present. They saw that the last time there was a dignified transfer, Donald Trump wore his campaign hat and started posting fundraising emails using the photos of the caskets to raise money for Donald Trump's political action committee. So the family members said, please, no cameras, no videos. This is a solemn ceremony for us. Please do not photograph and video and post this on social media. So what does Donald Trump and MAGA Mike Johnson do? They videotape it. They post it on social media. Here are photographs of MAGA Mike Johnson, Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, as posted by MAGA Mike Johnson. And MAGA Mike Johnson, Republican Speaker of the House, posts, "Today, I had the solemn honor of attending the dignified transfer of 6 American heroes who gave their lives in selfless service to our nation. Freedom is never free. It is carried on the shoulders of the brave. We will never forget their courage and sacrifice. Our prayers and hearts are with their families." Spare your prayer and heart, MAGA Mike. You don't have a heart and your prayers are fake. This is an unlawful and unjustified war. And don't you try to drape this in some patriotism to rally more Americans to their deaths in Iran when Iran never posed an imminent threat and there should not have been this unlawful invasion. And you should have respected what the family members said, which is do not post this on social media. Then MAGA Mike Johnson goes on Sean Hannity to talk about it. He goes on state regime media to then spread more of his propaganda. And MAGA Mike says, here's what we need to know, Hannity. Donald Trump is a man of his own mind. So he's going to make the best decisions of his own mind when it comes to potentially escalating things in Iran by now adding thousands of ground troops, because that's the latest thing that the Trump regime is talking about. Thousands of ground troops in Iran. Watch MAGA Mike, though. Look at him. He's sweaty, shiny face. Look at him crack. Here, play this clip.
All right. And Speaker Johnson, I think you would confirm, as I know, as Dan Bongino knows, anybody that knows the president knows, he is a man of his own mind. He will listen to everybody. He'll listen to all points of view, and he's going to make up his own mind. Then it's the job of those people around him to support the policies. He was elected commander in chief, not them. Some of them need to learn that.
That's right.
We appreciate.
You're exactly right. And he's restoring peace through strength. And America's better for it. And so is all of the free world.
More from MAGA Mike. And again, look at him. I don't know if they've Botoxed the hell out of his face or what is even going on right here. But then MAGA Mike starts attacking Joe Kent, who's a MAGA darling. Joe Kent was like one of the top security intelligence officials in the Trump regime who resigned 2 days ago because he believed the war in Iran was unlawful, and he saw the intelligence and he said, none of the intelligence I saw justifies a war in Iran. And you have MAGA Mike attacking Joe Kent, and also MAGA Mike implying that we're looking into what's going on with Joe Kent. Right around this time period, we learned that the Trump regime was likely launching criminal investigations into Joe Kent for purportedly leaking information, and that Joe Kent is now under investigation because he spoke out against the Iran war. Let me be clear. Joe Kent, not a good guy, bad guy, far right-wing extremist, ultra MAGA guy, but even he's like, this war is unlawful, and he quit. Here's what sweaty MAGA Mike has to say. Here, play this clip.
How is that not an imminent threat?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm not sure what Joe Kent is reading, but it's not the same intel that I've seen. Look, I'm on the Gang of Eight. We got all the briefings before this operation in Iran began. We got briefings during and then after it commenced. And the intelligence was exquisite. It was very clear this was an imminent threat to the United States and America's interest, and the commander-in-chief did exactly the right thing. He had to protect American lives. We knew that those ballistic missiles that they were stockpiling and preparing were going to be fired at our troops and our civilians and our installations in the region. And so the commander-in-chief did what he had to do. Joe Kent seemed to understand that until about 24 hours ago. I'm not sure what happened there. There's lots of discussion about it on Capitol Hill, as you can imagine. We're trying to get down to the bottom of it, but he is an outlier. I'm telling you, as we noted earlier, Bongino and others have said, everyone else in the administration and everyone who sees the actual intelligence understands clearly that the president did what he had to do.
Then the day before that, MAGA Mike kept on saying, it's promises made, promises kept. This has been the greatest administration ever. Here, play this clip.
It truly is promises made and promises kept. I've made the case that the first year of the Trump administration was arguably the most productive and successful in at least the modern era. I think one of the top 5 in the history of Congress, and I'm a student of all this, because of all the substance and the big things that we passed and got it signed into law.
More for MAGA Mike right here. He's asked, what does Donald Trump mean that the war will end when he feels it in his bones? Here's what MAGA Mike says. Let's play it.
President Trump recently has said that the war in Iran will be over when he, quote, feel it in my bones. What does he mean by that?
Well, I think his bones are informed by the intelligence. Okay, so look, it's the commander-in-chief, whomever is the president, whomever is the commander-in-chief, under our constitutional system, is given a broad amount of latitude.
This episode of the MeidasTouch podcast is brought to you by Blue Land. Hey, lately I've been thinking more about plastic, not just the stuff we throw away, but the tiny particles we don't even see. They're in our cleaning products too, and that made me really rethink what I'm using every day at home. That's why I made the switch to Blue Land. They're on a mission to make it easy for everyone to make more sustainable choices without sacrificing performance. Their cleaning products are designed to work just as well as the big brands, but with formulas free from dyes, parabens, and harsh chemicals. I've personally been using their dishwasher tablets, and I love them. They're proven to perform on baked-on, burnt-on stains, and you don't even need a rinse aid, which makes things so much easier. Blue Land has options for pretty much everything: cleaning sprays, toilet tablets, dishwasher tablets, and everything comes in thoughtfully designed packaging using materials intended to return safely to the earth. And I'm not alone. Blue Land is trusted in over 1 million homes, including mine. Blue Land is a certified B Corp and Leaping Bunny cruelty-free certified. Their formulas are EPA Safer Choice certified, and many products have also earned Cradle to Cradle's Gold Material Health Certificate. Blue Land has a special offer for our listeners right now. Get 15% off your first order by going to blueland.com/Meidas. You won't want to miss this. blueland.com/Meidas for 15% off. That's blueland.com/Meidas to get 15% off. MEIDAS.
And then Manu Raju from CNN asks MAGA Mike, so it's been more than 2 weeks since this war was launched by the U.S. What are we, day 20, day 21? We're going to, I mean, this is just continuing to escalate by the day. Why hasn't the House held a single hearing on the financial cost of this war? Like, why aren't you having the budget committee or any type of oversight committee handle the costs? Right? I mean, the latest reporting is that the Trump regime wants a $200 billion supplemental. $200 billion supplemental for this disastrous war in Iran. Think about that. They've given $200 billion to ICE. They want a $200 billion supplemental on top of the $1 trillion military budget. So about $1.5, $1.6 trillion on the military and ICE. Think about if that money was spent on your health care, on making affordable housing, on education. Just think about where we'd be as a country. Think about the priorities here by MAGA Mike and Donald Trump. But here, play this clip.
It's been more than 2 weeks since this war was launched by the United States against Iran. Yet the House has not had a single public hearing with the cabinet official on the cost to American taxpayers and to American service members. Why has the House not heard testimony from a cabinet official about this?
I don't know if you've noticed, but they've given us multiple briefings. Well, it's still, we're in the midst of a couple of weeks long operation that's very sensitive in its mission and scope, and you cannot go outside of the classified briefing to give to the public the information because it would adversely affect our mission. They have well explained this to members of Congress in multiple briefings, both before, during, and after the operation commenced. We had the auditorium full of House members just last. The American public is getting. I've just relayed to you the summary of the non-classified information.
I wanted to share this with you as well, though. Remember on the clip before I showed you where MAGA Mike's like, this military operation, they call it like a special operation, the way Putin calls his invasion special operations. MAGA Mike's like, it's exquisite, exquisite. That's their new line, exquisite. That's a strange word to refer to war as, exquisite. But you know where it comes from, right? It comes from Stephen Miller, because before MAGA Mike was using the word exquisite, Stephen Miller, who gives the messaging to like the Trump sycophants like MAGA Mike, Stephen Miller was like, this military attack has been exquisite. It's the same language here. Play this clip.
But from a military planning standpoint, this has been exquisite, Laura. And you talk about military planning, a big part of military planning is having the defensive weapons necessary to shoot down those Iranian missiles. So what we're not talking about is it's American planning, American imaging, American weaponry that is shooting down those Iranian drones, that is shooting down those Iranian missiles, that is killing those launchers. It's the Iranians that are being overwhelmed at every single step along the way.
Okay, this military invasion of Iran is not exquisite. The Arab nations are being blown up by Iran. The Riyadh facilities, big mushroom clouds there. Qatar's LNG, which produces 20% of the world's global LNG, that was blown to pieces. Things are not good. Things are escalating very, very quickly. You took a look yesterday at the stock market. The Dow, S&P, NASDAQ down significantly. The Dow, what yesterday fell nearly 800 points, its lowest close in 2026. Meanwhile, the Brent crude oil prices per barrel surging yesterday past $110. This is going to hit $150 a barrel in no time. You know, average gas prices, I bet you, will be $5.50 soon across the country. It's already like around $4. Diesel's over $5. The United States national debt yesterday hit $39 trillion, and Donald Trump was making social media posts begging allies to help. New York, he's reposting New York Post, which is a version of his regime media. And it says, U.S. allies need to get a grip. Step up and help open the Strait of Hormuz. Why would they want to help you? You went it alone. They don't want to help you at all. Things are escalating. Iran is firing more, and they are hitting more per shot than during the first day of the conflict, Andreas Larson explains, which again is not very good at all. Then, by the way, you have Trump regime propagandists like Kevin Hassett saying that, yeah, this won't hurt our economy at all. It will hurt consumers, but not our economy. We don't care about the consumers. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about the people, Hassett. What are you talking about? And our economy is getting rocked right now. Our economy is getting beaten and battered right now. Here, play this clip.
But the fact is that the U.S. economy is fundamentally sound, and that if it were to be extended, it wouldn't really disrupt the U.S. economy very much at all. It would hurt consumers, and we'd have to think about, if that continued, what we would have to do about that. But that's like really the last of our concerns right now, because we're very confident that this thing is going ahead of schedule.
And just so you can all hear what Joe Kent said, that has MAGA Mike freaking out as well, play this clip.
We knew not that Iran was going to attack. He did not say that.
Right.
He said we knew that Israel was going to attack Iran, and in retaliation for those attacks by Israel against Iran, Iran might attack American forces. So the imminent threat that the Secretary of State is describing is not from Iran, it's from Israel.
Exactly. And I think this speaks to the broader issue. Who is in charge of our policy in the Middle East? Who is in charge of when we decide to go to war or not? In this case, with what the Secretary described, and later on the President, later on the Speaker of the House, and the way the events played out, the Israelis drove the decision to take this action, which we knew would set off a series of events, meaning the Iranians would retaliate. Now, I think there's a potential there where we could have done several different things. We could have simply said to the Israelis, no, you will not. And if you do, then we will take something away from you. I think that it's fine that we offer defense to Israel, but when we're providing the means for their defense, we get to dictate the terms of when they go on the offensive. Otherwise, they stand to lose that relationship. And the Israelis felt emboldened that no matter what they did, no matter what situation they put us in, that they could go ahead and take this action.
And here's one more clip of Joe Kent that you can hear for yourself. Play it.
What's our strategic goal in a war that's going to have ramifications for our nation, for the region, for global energy supplies? I think most folks right now at the Pentagon and the intelligence agencies, they would say us and the Israelis actually have a different objective here. I don't believe that our objective has been clearly defined because we're shying away from regime change. The Israelis are not shying away from regime change. They want to knock out lock, stock, and barrel the current government. They don't seem to have a plan for what comes next.
There you have it, folks. MAGA Mike, nervous, panicked, likely losing his job soon. What a despicable place in history. I mean, what a despicable person, huh? Anyway, let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thank you so much for watching.
New Meidas merch. Head to store.MeidasTouch.com today and get yourself the best pro-democracy gear and show your support. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.